Rick, I had said in the last video that, real estate is a solid investment. And I really would like us to touch on that based on it. No matter the market, it will still always be a solid investment. But I want to throw it over to you first because I think you would have some things to say on that from a financing perspective.
Sure. Well, more from a financial planning perspective, real estate is unique if it's your principal residence we're talking about as an investment, simply because you can live there for, 30, 40 years, whatever it is. The value is going to go way up during that time period. And of course, there is no capital gains tax, at least currently, on your principal residence. So there's really nothing quite comparable that you can put your money into where you're going to, be able to not pay taxes. Like even in an RSP, you're going to pay tax when you take the funds out, hopefully at a lower tax rate and so forth, because you'll be retired and so on. But your principal residence, you can't beat it as far as taxation goes as an investment. Like, sure, maybe you can buy, I don't know, Tesla when it IPO'd or whatever and make a better return on your investment. But from a tax perspective, you cannot beat real estate for the principal residence. Now, if it's a secondary property, that's a bit of a different story. There are capital gains that you're exposed to, things like that.
And flipping properties?
So flipping properties, so that's an interesting area right now because the government is looking at basically treating it like income from work, right?
That's
So
right. That's
they'll
right.
basically consider
Business,
it your
businesses.
job, and it's taxed like there is no higher taxes, ironically, than the taxes that you pay from your employment. So because generally the government wants to encourage investment, so capital gains is one of the most favorable taxes if
Yeah.
you have to pay it. But again, like principal residence, there is no capital gains tax whatsoever.
Yeah.
So you can sell your house 40 years from now, and as long as that was your principal residence and you can declare what property is your principal residence, uh, there is no taxes payable, even if it went up $2 million. You don't pay any tax on that.
I
So
love that.
yeah, it's and that could be one of the reasons that there's so much property speculation. But yes, as as far as taxation goes, you can't beat the principal residence, and you have to factor in, like, you have to live somewhere. So if you don't own, then you're paying rent. You're paying someone else's mortgage, right? So it's and that's something I think we should discuss as well, is the hot rental market that is just going crazy right now. I think the average rent is now over $2,000 for like a bachelor or one bedroom. You'll know the information better than I do, but yes, it's
Some of them are over 2,400.
oh yeah,
Now,
it's
it went up 21% just in the last year in some areas.
yeah, and so there's still a shortage of properties. But anyways, I don't want to get into that right now because we're talking about your principal residence specifically as an investment. Now, if we're looking at a secondary property, like a property you're going to rent out, then of course the taxation is treated differently. But you can also write off the interest if you're borrowing money to buy a property that you intend to
Yeah.
receive rent from. So it's you do have to pay tax on it, but it can still be an attractive return on your investment. Now, so in a way, the higher interest rates aren't so bad because, of course, now you're decreasing the amount of taxes payable because you
Writing off higher interest costs.
exactly.
But you're
So
also getting higher rent because it's a phenomenal leasing market.
well, that's where I don't see the market staying down depressed long, because people are going to look at it and as a from a landlord perspective, and they're going to be like, properties are cheap right now to purchase. relative to
Especially if
liquid
you got a
gold.
bit of equity to throw in there and offset some of that cost, man. This is a golden opportunity. Like I really would love my people to see that, because it is scary, but
Mhm.
nothing is ever that easy. Any of the big decisions we make, we weigh the pros and cons and we go forward. But Rick, you said something about the your house is always that wise investment, and